The deadly cry for help. The silent night that screamed Las Vegas was unusually quiet that night, November 12, 2024. The neon lights blinked with less energy, as if the city was holding its breath. Brandon Durham, 43, a loving single father, lived in a modest home with his 15-year-old daughter, Amy. That night, Brandon was restless. He felt a presence, something outside the window, a faint shadow, a creaking noise too precise to be the wind. He rushed to the front door and secured the locks. "Amy, stay in your room," he whispered. "There's something not right tonight." Amy's voice trembled. "Is someone in the house?" Brandon grabbed his old baseball bat and tiptoed toward the kitchen. The hallway stretched longer than usual. The air felt heavy. Suddenly, he heard something, like a foot dragging across the wooden floor. The 911 that should have saved him. Brandon's hands trembled as he dialed 911. The operator responded calmly, promising immediate dispatch. But something strange happened at the dispatch center. The report that reached police units said, was it a mistake? A glitch? Or something worse? The breach. 2 officers reached Brandon's house. They knocked, no answer. Inside, Brandon was helping Amy climb into a closet, hiding her safely. He didn't hear the knocks. The police broke the door and stormed inside. What they saw was blurry, chaotic, a man wrestling with a woman on the floor. A shiny object in his hand. Fear clouded their judgment. "Drop the weapon." Brandon turned, confused. Bang! 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 3 shots echoed through the house. Amy's scream tore through the silence. The man who called for help was the one who died. As the smoke cleared, they realized the man on the floor wasn't a suspect. He was Brandon Durham, the one who had called 911. The woman he was holding down. Alejandra Boudreaux, a disturbed woman who had broken into the house through a back window. She had a knife. Brandon had saved his daughter. But the police had just killed him. A mistaken report, or a setup? The community erupted in outrage. The body cam footage wasn't released immediately. Police statements were vague. Amy, still in shock, told investigators. Reporters asked the question everyone feared to answer: how did Brandon's plea for help turn into a death warrant? The hidden hand. Digging deeper, a journalist discovered a disturbing connection. Officer Jonathan Clay, one of the responding officers, had a past disciplinary record and a personal history with Alejandra. They were former lovers. According to a sealed court document, Officer Clay had been warned to stay away from Alejandra. But now, somehow, she had broken into Brandon's house, and Clay was the first on scene. Was this really a mistake? The letter in the locker. A week later, Amy opened her father's old locker and found an envelope marked. Inside was a handwritten letter. It was no longer just a mistake. It was a setup. The video that changed everything. A bystander had captured the moments before the shooting on video. The audio was faint, but one line was clear, and still, the officers fired. Public pressure intensified. Protests erupted across Nevada. Civil rights groups demanded justice. The manhunt begins. Officer Clay vanished. Investigators found his apartment empty, with a single note on the fridge: he was always in the way. Alejandra was arrested. Under pressure, she confessed. Courtroom of tears. In court, Amy took the stand, reading her father's letter aloud. The room fell silent. Even the judge paused to wipe away a tear. Clay was arrested weeks later in Arizona. He confessed to manipulating the dispatch report, intentionally misreporting the 911 call. His motive: revenge. He blamed Brandon for stealing Alejandra from him, though she'd long ended the relationship. Clay was sentenced to 35 years. Alejandra received 15 years for breaking and entering and conspiracy. A father's love never dies. Brandon was buried with honor. His story sparked new legislation requiring double verification of emergency calls, and mandatory psychiatric evaluations for high-risk officers. Amy now speaks across the country, telling her story. She became a lawyer, dedicated to fighting injustice, especially those crimes committed in the name of justice. And on every 12th November, she lights a candle, reads her father's letter,